Hey LeaderTribe, Dr. Rob here. I am so excited about today's lesson. Over the last couple of weeks, we've traveled some really good terrain together, and I've just really been blown away by some of the responses that we've received. Specifically, a couple of weeks ago, we did the 6 fog cutter questions for leadership clarity. Unbelievable, the responses to that. Specifically, if you haven't downloaded that PDF, go back and do it. Question number 5, you'll remember I was doing a big consulting project. Question number 5 ended up separating the superstars from the wannabes. And it was really a surprise to me, but then I did a little more exploration and found out why that was the case. Had to do with empowerment and clarity. So this is our third and final week on sort of this clarity theme as we're getting going. First time we looked at clarity for leadership success. Last week, clarity at work. This week, clarity for your personal life and my personal life. Now, all of us, everyone that I've ever met, at some time or another, we get into some funk or we just kind of feel paralyzed, don't know what to do, feeling of overwhelm. 2 days ago, I had a wonderful conversation with a really bright young executive leader, and he's just saying, dude, I'm just overwhelmed. I just can't handle this right now. And the thought was, he's not necessarily overwhelmed, but as soon as it feels like that, it goes from one area to the next area to the next area. It just spreads in our life. You might be overwhelmed at work, but then all of a sudden you get home and you're just like, I can't handle this right now. Why? Because I'm overwhelmed. You're not overwhelmed at home. You're overwhelmed at work, but it spreads. It spreads like a disease. And so all of a sudden we feel like, I can't get out of this. How do you get the personal clarity that you need? Well, I want to take you just through a really short little exercise. It's going to move quickly, but you can see the notes on this later. Okay, here it is. Number 1. Pick the one area that you need clarity in. Again, it might be at work, it might be in your relationships, it might be a financial thing. It could be any number of different areas. But choose the one that you really need the clarity in, because you can't just say, in everything, it's killing me. No. Pick the one primary area. And then here's number 2. You ready for this? Exactly what do you need to know? A million years ago when I was a little kid, hey, there was this show and it was called I Dream of Jeannie. And this genie would go like, tinkle, tinkle, tink, and go like that, and she could grant wishes because she's a genie. Let me ask you a question. If a genie came into your life and went, tinkle, tinkle, tink, and went like that to you, and she could give you one area that you needed to have clarity in, if she could say, here is the area, what would that be in your life? Would it be, if maybe it's in your business life, how do we cut costs? Or how do we generate more revenue? Or what are we going to do about the financials? Or where can I find a new CFO? It just might be that one thing in your business life, in your relational life. It might have to do with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or something that's going on in your family. If you could just get that one area, what would it be? So first of all, big overall, and then what's the one question that the genie could go tink and you would have the answer to that question? Now, here's number 3. Since there are no genies, humble yourself. You have to humble yourself. You have to humble yourself and you ask your friends or your colleagues, a mentor, a trusted advisor. Number 1, what's the one big area? Number 2, what's the exact question? Number 3, will you humble yourself because somebody out there has some insight, has an ability to speak into your life and to clarify things for you and say, hey, I just need the answer to this one question. What would you do if you were me? Or where should I go? Or what to... And then number 4, you have to listen to them, but often we don't want to do that. Why? Because when we're in that mixed up stage, as soon as somebody gives us answers, even if it's like 90% the right answer, 10% bad, what are we going to do? Focus on the 10%. Because, well, no, that won't work because of this. There are no perfect answers. And what you need is some productivity at that point. As a matter of fact, Patrick Lencioni has this incredible little book, and it's called The 5 Temptations of a CEO. And there's CEOs who are tempted in their life to do things that they shouldn't be doing in light of things that they should have in their life. And one of those, probably the most seminal moment, the one that really sets apart some people, is the whole idea that leaders who want to have popularity in their life instead of accountability in their life. They want to be popular, so they're not going to ask other people, hey, will you help me with this? Because they think that their social capital would go down in somebody's eyes. Not the case, but that's what we're tempted to think. We'll take popularity over accountability. No, get the accountability. So number 1, what's that one big area? Number 2, what's the exact question you have to know? Number 3, humble yourself because the answers are out there. And then number 4, get the accountability. And number 5, here it is. You ready? Move! You've got to move. You got to get up. You got to get off your rear, and you've got to take some steps. So often when we're paralyzed, I can't do anything. And so we don't try to do anything but when we find out it's really all in our mind. And if you'll just start taking a step, maybe the very first step you take, guess what? You'll fail. Great. You know what that means? You realize what doesn't work. So take another step, take another step. As long as you're moving, the answers will come to you and people will help you. As long as you want to kind of distance yourself and you want to try to do this independently, all of a sudden what's going to happen at that point is that, you know what, I'm just going to isolate myself and I'm really not sure what to do. I just can't handle this right now. And the more you isolate yourself, the more you're going to get into this funk. But when you actually get out and move, people come to your rescue. So if you're not going to move right now, then when are you going to do it? Today, you can do that. Go through that little process, 5 questions. And here's a great bonus for this week. You ready? That book that I just mentioned, The 5 Temptations of a CEO, I want to send, or don't want to send you, but as a PDF on the download this week is an executive summary of that book. It's only 2 or 3 pages long, the executive summary. Fantastic book. And you go like, yeah, Rob, 5 Temptations of a CEO. What? I'm not a CEO. Yes, you are. You're the CEO of your life. You can take control of your life and get the clarity you need. Avail yourself of that download. Hey, this is Dr. Rob. I can't wait to see you again next week. Thanks for being a part of LeaderTribe.